Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I've got a few stories for you on the legal/regulatory front in the world of crypto, and the SEC just got a major win here. A judge has thrown out an important lawsuit where a crypto firm actually went on the offensive, seeking proactively to sue the SEC, actually. That got tossed out. Also, news broke just the other day that one of the banks that went out of business in early 2023 was actually completely destroyed by the federal government. That's the new assertion, and there's evidence supporting exactly that. And all sorts of people well known in the world of crypto are supporting this, including Chief Legal Officer Paul Graywall. He's the Chief Legal Officer of Coinbase. I also want to share with you a post from attorney James Murphy, member of the XRP community. He's known as Meta Lawman on social media platform X. Now, he has been working directly with attorney John Deaton, who is currently running for Senate against Elizabeth Warren, who is very anti-crypto, arguably the worst senator that there ever has been and ever will be. My God, she's awful. And I don't even believe for a second she believes the stuff she's arguing about crypto. But attorney James Murphy, Meta Lawman, he's been working directly, as I said, directly with attorney John Deaton, and he even did at least one fundraiser with Deaton for his Senate campaign. And I'm looking forward to seeing Deaton debate Elizabeth Warren. If I'm not mistaken, the first debate occurs on October 15th. I believe that's what I read earlier today. So anyway, covering all those things, but before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so let's start with this one, this post from attorney James Murphy, and he shared this very recently, just in the last couple days or so. And it really rips to shreds Elizabeth Warren. It highlights the attack on crypto. And I got to tell you, the current administration, the Biden administration, it's an all-out attack on crypto from the top all the way on down. It's actually not just the SEC. Yes, we focus on that. And there are all sorts of people in Congress who, in particular on the Democrat side, there are about 0 Republicans that are anti-crypto. But tons of them on the Democrat side attacking. And then you have other portions of the federal government actually attacking crypto, which is exactly what I'm going to bring home in this video. Like, it's completely absurd. Now, I assume we're going to look back on this in a decade. If anybody listens to this video like 10 years from now, they'll be like, wow, that really is the environment we used to live in. And it's going to look completely absurd. This cannot and will not persist. But anyway, here's what Attorney Murphy said. With friends like Senator Warren, who needs enemies? A case study. Fidelity Investments is a well-regarded financial firm headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts. Now, I'll pause to note that is where Elizabeth Warren is senator, and that is where Attorney Deaton moved his residence to run against her, and where he's seeking to become senator. Anyway, he continues. Fidelity and its employees are major contributors to the tax base of Massachusetts. Fidelity is rated one of the best places to work in America and is a good corporate citizen, supporting many charitable causes in Massachusetts. In 2014, Fidelity became one of the first traditional finance companies to embrace digital assets, and it started mining Bitcoin for its own account. In 2017, Fidelity CEO Abigail Johnson spoke at the Consensus Conference about Fidelity's embrace of blockchain and digital asset innovation. Let me just pause here. I just find this just interesting, kind of as an aside. So he mentioned in 2014, he noted that Bitcoin, and this is pretty early on, but Fidelity, even back then, it was embraced digital assets and was actually mining Bitcoin. There were actually a handful of larger firms that were mining Bitcoin in the earliest of days, but back then they viewed it, I think, more as a novelty, and good for them for jumping in that early on. It was too soon to publicly embrace it. And I say fair enough. It was early enough on. It's like, okay, is this a flash in the pan? Is it really going to exist? There was reasonable debate in the earliest of days. There's no more reasonable debate today. In 2024, it's been 15 years. There's actual adoption, actual utility, very clear, not going away. Now, back then, wasn't as clear. And so they weren't as vocal about it. But again, that's not even a critique. I just think it's kind of interesting that even back then, Fidelity and some of these larger firms, they were jumping into crypto, specifically Bitcoin. That's fine. And they ultimately came to the conclusion, yeah, this makes sense. And now they've embraced it wholeheartedly. Anyway, he continues, in 2018, Fidelity launched Fidelity Digital Assets, an institutional-grade platform to trade and custody crypto assets. In 2019, Fidelity obtained a trust charter from the New York Department of Financial Services. In 2024, Fidelity got approval to launch its Bitcoin ETF, FBTC, which now has over $10.5 billion in Bitcoin, which it holds on its own custody platform. Now, it gets into the Elizabeth Warren part of this, because my God, she is an absolute disaster. And John Deaton absolutely can defeat her. There is a very real path for Attorney Deaton to defeat her. But anyway, he writes here, Elizabeth Warren is a U.S. Senator representing Massachusetts. Warren formed an anti-crypto army, her words, to wage war against the crypto industry, which includes Boston-based Fidelity. Warren has lobbied her colleagues to vote against legislation to bring regulatory clarity to the crypto industry. Warren has perpetuated false narratives about crypto use cases and environmental impacts. Warren is a driving force behind Operation Choke Point 2.0, designed to destroy individuals and businesses like Fidelity that are involved in crypto. Now, let me pause. There's a reason I'm clumping these stories together in this video. We're going to come back to Operation Choke Point 2.0 a little bit later in the video, because the federal government, the argument is actually, they actually destroyed a bank because they were pro-crypto. That is Operation Choke Point 2.0. Because the SEC and other aspects of the government, elements of the government, they realize, oh man, with tens of thousands of coins, what are we going to do? Go after every single individual one? Well, no. If you can shut down the exchanges and attack the banks that support the industry, that's a serious choke point. That is Operation Choke Point 2.0. It's a very real thing here. Anyway, and then he writes, Warren expressed outrage with the SEC approved Fidelity when the SEC approved Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF application in January of this year. In short, Warren has done everything within her considerable power to impede Fidelity's digital assets business. So, what do you do when your own senator declares war on business? That's easy. You vote her out of office and replace her with Deaton, who is a common sense advocate for smart, consumer-friendly innovation. Right, and so just on the crypto front, I mean, you guys do whatever you want to do. I'm not ever going to, this isn't a political channel. I'm only going to talk about politics insofar as it pertains to the economy, finance, and crypto specifically. Do whatever you want. But I gotta say, there's not a chance in hell I could ever support a party that is trying to destroy my financial well-being. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. Nope. That is a major factor for me. And I'm not a single issue voter, and I understand if you're not in everything else, you're like, okay, no, I know it's going to destroy my financial well-being. They're going to keep attacking my crypto holdings and maybe actually shut it down if they're successful. But I'm going to vote that way. Well, if that's what you want to do, if the other stuff's more important, go for it. In a way, I respect that, because you're at least going with what you actually believe makes sense. But just understand what you're doing here, because this is an entire party that has been attacking us on the crypto side, destroying our opportunity for life-changing wealth for over 3.5 years. That's the truth. Live in reality. Just live in reality. That's all I request. That is the case, and it's going to persist if we don't have a change here. That's very obvious here. Leads us to the next story. Consensus sued against U.S. SEC dismissed by Texas court. Not surprised, frankly. And I'm not even saying that the judge was completely unreasonable, but this is a win for the SEC. It's a big win for the SEC, because this is something where, frankly, had this lawsuit gone through, it wouldn't have been good for the SEC. And there's something, certain things could have become precedent. So it's a big win for them by getting out of this. I'm just saying, I'm not completely surprised, and I understand the rationale from the judge to be intellectually honest. I don't want it to be the case, but I see why this case was ultimately thrown out. So it's a win for the SEC, but for the stuff that ends up being fully adjudicated, obviously, recent years, not going so well for the SEC. Multiple examples of this. But this is an instance where we're not even going to see the adjudication. Anyway, piece reads as follows. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission had, for a time, added Consensus to a list of crypto investigation targets, prompting the technology incubator company to sue it for overreach in federal court. Because the regulator then shut down that Ethereum probe earlier this year, a Texas judge has decided the lack of immediate danger means the lawsuit is unwarranted. Judge Reed O'Connor of the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas noted in a Thursday filing that because withholding consideration subjects plaintiff to scant, if any, hardship, the claim lacks a ripe case or controversy. In other words, since there's no clear future threat to consensus, there's no point to this judge weighing in, right? So since the SEC is no longer going after consensus, it's like, well, what's the point? What's the actual problem? So I get that. I still don't like it because I know that had this gone forward, it would not have been good for the SEC. So that is, it is a win for the SEC. It just is. Peace continues. In a significant win for the industry, the SEC dropped its Ethereum 2.0 investigation after our litigation was filed, and the Texas court today recognized that the SEC already gave consensus the relief it sought on the critical issue for the Ethereum ecosystem, the company said in a post on X. Consensus argued that its lawsuit laid bare the overzealous investigation of Ethereum, and policymakers and the public at large voiced deep concern over the SEC's investigation of blockchain software development. A spokesperson for the SEC declined to comment on the case being dismissed. Well, color me surprised on that point. So, is what it is. But more shocking than that is what happened in regards to Silvergate. Remember this headline? This is from March of 2023 from CNBC. Crypto-focused bank Silvergate is shutting operations and liquidating after market meltdown. And so at the time, we had certainly less information. Now there's a new explanation as to why they actually shut down. And so I'm just going to report on what's being stated here. And the story actually comes thanks to Nick Carter, a well-known figure in crypto. There's a reason he has 387,000 followers on X. And he had a very long thread on X explaining exactly what went down. And so rather than read the whole thing, I'm just going to go to the story covering it from CoinGape. I think they did a pretty good job summarizing this thing. But it's disgusting. Wait till you hear this stuff. I mean, the assertion here, and there seems to be some evidence to this, it literally is the Fed destroying a business because it's in crypto, an actual bank destroying it. And so I just got to ask you, if you're a voter, are you going to vote for more of this? Because you know what you're going to get if you vote a certain way, don't you? I mean, it's your call. You do what you want to do. I'm just asking you. Like, do you legitimately, are you willing to accept more of this? More attacks on your financial well-being? Because if enough of the dominoes fall, you don't have the opportunity anymore. There is a party right now in 2024 that is trying to destroy all of this, and one party that isn't. Here's the headline. Silvergate Bank Bankruptcy, How Fed's Operation Chokepoint 2.0 Collapsed Crypto Banking. Crypto evangelist Nick Carter has recently exposed how the Federal Reserve has played a crucial role in pushing the crypto-friendly Silvergate Bank to the path of bankruptcy. He added that as part of Operation Chokepoint 2.0, Biden's regulators, the Fed, FDIC, and OCC, systematically cracked down on banks serving the crypto space. In early 2023, the Biden administration's top financial regulators launched a coordinated attack on crypto-friendly banks Silvergate and Signature as part of Operation Chokepoint 2.0. Crypto Evangelist provides key details of how this led to a forceful collapse of the Silvergate Bank. Amid the mounting regulatory pressure, Silvergate Bank filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy earlier this week. Carter rejects all previous reports that the bank fell due to market losses and exposure to FTX. He said that despite facing significant redemptions following the FTX collapse, the bank remained solvent. Back in July, an ex-FTX official blamed Silvergate Bank for the exchange's questionable transactions. However, Carter noted that the Fed's directives to drastically reduce the crypto-related deposits to less than 15% of its business ultimately led to its demise. So, folks, there you go. That's what they're claiming is basically the nail in the coffin. Strong portion of your business, crypto, so a huge amount of deposits in terms of percentage, well over 15%. The Fed comes in and says, it's got to be less than 15%. But that's not their business model. That's not who they're catering to. They're catering to a specific segment. And they're saying, well, yeah, but don't do that anymore. And if that's your business model, are you going to be able to pivot on a dime? Most businesses can't. Something that drastic. So the Fed comes in like, yeah, but you can't do that. And it is the Fed, so good luck. Good luck fighting. Peace continues. Carter noted that initially he thought that the FDIC was choking the bank. However, it turns out that the Fed was actually passing the guidance behind the curtains. One point I've endeavored to make is that Silvergate died by murder, not suicide, writes Carter. As part of the declaration in the Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings, former Silvergate executive Elaine Hetrick has corroborated Nick Carter's observations. She confirmed that while Silvergate survived the market downturn, the regulatory mandate to reduce its crypto exposure forced the bank to shut down. Besides, Hetrick's affidavit also points out broader regulatory efforts, including the exclusion of crypto-related business lines from bank acquisitions. This further confirms Carter's claims that Silvergate was killed by design under Operation Choke Point 2.0. Carter wrote, and this is a quote, "What the Biden admin is doing is blatantly illegal. Cooper and Kirk, the law firm that sued over Operation Choke Point 1.0 under Obama, has pointed out that Operation Choke Point 2.0 violates the Fifth Amendment." End quote. So again, I'll ask you folks, do you want another 4 to 8 years of this? I don't. I am tired of my financial well-being just being under attack. No thanks. I appreciate the offer, and thanks for showing me what it looks like. But no, I'd rather not. Can I just opt out of that? Is it possible? Can I just opt out of this BS? Oh, God, please tell me that we don't have to deal with another 4 to 8 years of this crap. I'm sick of it. Because with that much power, and imagine if a certain party has full control of Congress. What if that happens? At least there's a divided Congress right now. But if that happens, the onslaught continues. It's like, you understand, that is a it still is a possible. Don't think that can't happen. No thanks. So anyway, just know what you're doing. Just be aware of all this. You're all adults. Do what you want to do. Just be aware of this. And if you're going to vote a certain way, and it does come to pass that crypto continues to get attacked and it harms your financial well-being, just understand that you helped contribute to that. As long as you can make peace with that, okay. I ain't going to be a part of that, though. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say, right? That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.